Welcome back to the 7-point Australian Highlander. Welcome to the quarterfinals. So this is a match between Jackson McCall-Pearce on Aggro Zoo versus Paul Mitchell on Blue Moon. I do like to say that I am welcomely joined by... What do we want to call
Luke
him?
Mulcahy.
Yeah, I was going to say Mulchy, but we'll go Luke Mulcahy.
Yeah, Mulch.
And Tim Dolphin with me here in the studio. So I'll give a nice little shout out to Jackson. He's flown over, I believe, or driven over from Adelaide. So he's part of the team Adelaide Eternal. And they've got a great YouTube channel over at youtube.com/Adelaide Eternal. And they've got some really good content over there as well, supporting the community. All right, looking at their deck list, guys, what points are each of these players playing?
So I think Paul's on 7 1-point cards, I believe. He's Jason Mind Sculptor, Treasure Cruise, Mana Drain, True Nemesis, Force of Will, and then I don't know the other two, but they're just like blue-red control cards. Back to Basics is the 6th.
Yeah.
And then I don't know the 7th one. Probably Snapcaster. And Jackson, I believe, is on...
We've got Strip Mine
Wasteland.
for 2, Wasteland for the 1.
And then
He's got a Stoneforge Mystic.
Yep.
He's also got the Skull Clamp
And then a Mox, I'm
and
guessing.
Jitte.
Okay, alright. Yep.
Yeah, nice.
Paul's got the Pro Tour Amonkhet sleeves. It's pretty pimp.
Oh, very, very nice.
Yeah, I believe he did go to, Albuquerque recently.
Did he really? That's really impressive. Good on him.
Yeah, he qualified via online.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So he plays a lot of online Magic, doesn't he?
I'm not sure.
A fair bit.
You assume so, right?
I assume so if you
Yeah,
did well
if you-
at a...
If you
Qualified
keep the
online,
PT,
you probably play a lot of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Takes a long time to get good enough the interface that you can, run a whole RPG queue and get there.
Yeah, exactly. So just going back, Paul has Back to Basics, Force of Will, Jace the Mind Sculptor, Mana Drain, Snapcaster Mage, Treasure Cruise, and True Name Nemesis as his pointed cards.
Yeah, so aggro not that very popular in Highlander. I think it's just a player preference thing.
Yeah.
Aggro is still super strong. Yeah.
It's strong and super quick, but it's also very susceptible to some of the more recent plays, like the Blue Moon's strategies, where they do target the mana base. The aggro builds are generally using very very expansive mana base.
Yeah.
So they're easily disruptible.
Yeah, very greedy mana bases as well.
I don't know, that they deploy their threats much faster than the Blood Moon can come down. So yeah, I guess it depends. If the control players can clean up all the 1-drops before they drop their Blood Moon. But
Is that a Tony Abbott of Kirkheat that he has in hand on Jackson's side?
don't know.
It may be. We'll wait and see till we see his hand again, but...
They're all just piranha marshes. It's like from the cycle where the jukebox from.
Why are they talking about Piranha?
Interesting.
Jackson's got a really revealing shuffling style. If we can see those cards, Paul can see those cards.
Yeah.
Zergo Bell Striker.
Any of yours, I'm going to cycle
Great turn 1 creature.
Drop 10.
1-drop 2/2.
Yeah, that is
Text.
Tony Abbott in hand.
It is a Tony Abbott.
There's a thing in the ice.
Main deck from Paul. I like it. Super strong.
Yeah. So if we look at Paul's deck, he's playing a lot of control and counter magic. So slamming out the thing in the ice early, that's going to flip pretty fast and then disrupt Jackson's wide board state that he wants to build.
Stoneforge Mystic. Well worth paying the 2 life for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Jackson plays Batterskull. I think he's just got Grafdigger's Cage, Jide, and Clamp. That's it as his equipment. Yeah, he's going to go for Clamp here. You don't want the Jide. The control players play too much removal. You can just get out tempoed. And you don't want Grafdigger. Grafted Wargear is okay against Blue Moon. Like, there's a risk they could bounce the Grafted Wargear back to your hand and have you sack the creature. It's pretty scary. It looks like Jackson hasn't got a third land, so perhaps he's hoping to draw into land using the Clamp.
And he does. So yeah, you were correct. He doesn't have the Batterskull in his deck. The 2 targets he can get with his Mystic are Jute and Skull Clamp.
Okay, I think it's interesting when you've got Stoneforge Mystic because you want to play on counter spells by activating it, but your opponent can still have Benduyan click in response to the Stoneforge activation.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful when you don't just want to like run it out now. I think you just want to pass the turn, wait till they V click, and then respond. It's happened to me a couple times, so I've learned from experience.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Instead, go for the attack.
Yeah, doesn't want to get the Clamp down. I guess he's got no 1 toughness guys. Getting a bit of value out of Rift Bolt. That card's normally really bad against Paul, so he'd be happy to trade there.
Yeah.
Paul choosing not to counter it. He must not have had the option to. You definitely want to keep that thing in the ice around. So Paul's hand must have lots of high curve or burn, but.
So it looked like he just drew a Fleece Maiden line there.
Okay. He's going to hard cast the Clamp. Jeez. That can't be right.
Man, playing with fire there.
Clamp's just so good. I wouldn't expose it to a counter
spell on blue player, honestly.
Yeah.
It's a bit touch.
Well.
Yeah. I mean, the Rift Bolt resolved, so perhaps Jackson feels that Paul just simply hasn't got the counter spell, but if it's Paul's hit his 4th land, so you'd think Cryptic Command, there it is.
Yeah. One of the few cards that I don't think should have ever been Texas.
I know.
Cryptic Command.
Yeah.
I still can't play with mine textless.
Counter, bounce, tap, draw. Is that the order, or is it counter, tap, bounce, draw?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those 2.
Yeah.
I know counters at the top, draws at the end. The other 2 are very hard.
Interesting that he didn't even play his land first to play a Mana League either. So.
Yeah, I wonder if that was a oversight. And that looks like a Dryad Militant being played.
Yeah, it
just
is.
on the other side of.
Yeah,
Zero.
good against Delve from Paul.
Yeah.
Also against Snapcaster Mage. I mean, Paul's already got the Cryptic in his graveyard, but it's pretty hard to snap back. So. But it's interesting to see different players' evaluations of what's more important to resolve. So Jackson feeling that he'd rather resolve creatures than Clamp. I guess that's fair enough. I guess it depends on your deck. If you got lots of 1 toughness guys, you really want Clamp around, but this particular zoo deck, more 3 toughness guys. So anyway,
It's harder to get good value out of the Clamp in this current situation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he kind of wants
maybe
to keep
baiting
those
that.
creatures around.
yeah.
Maybe baiting that counter spell.
So he might have realised that he really wants that Dryad Militant out.
So Paul's got a back to basics in hand. He wants to get that down this turn, and he could probably ensure that he's not going to get any more threats played against him for the rest of the game if he does cast it.
Yeah.
He just wants to make sure he doesn't die the turn he casts it. So if he has a play to go along with his back to basics, then he should be okay.
Yeah, it'd be pretty strong. He needs to either bounce all the creatures or kill all the creatures, then slow him back to basics, so he's not worried about Jackson rebuilding.
There's the back to basics.
Yeah, it's his only play. So Paul's hoping to draw into answers for the creatures and just let this back to basics screw Jackson.
Yeah.
So it's 8.
So dealing 8 damage, I believe.
Steamet's not so good with back to basics in play. Got 3 methods of life total keeping on the screen.
Yeah.
That's a Mystic Confluence. That's a good one. You could bounce 3 creatures with that.
That is a very powerful card. I just started playing with that card recently.
Yeah, it's stupid, right? It's so good.
And that looks like it's a
3.
full
There we
art
go.
version.
So interesting. Paul casting it this turn. I wonder why. I guess
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Maybe
Yeah.
just to take the threats off.
maybe he just wants to eliminate any chance of it getting disrupted somehow. Who knows what could have happened. I think this is over. Paul can surely deal with these 2 guys.
Yeah.
Should be able to find a good answer to him.
Yeah.
There we go.
Jackson
Jackson
trying to pull a fast one.
struggling to remember back to basics, which I've seen many times because I play back to basics in Vintage. The card is extremely powerful.
Before blocks, I'm going to torrential.
Game over.
Oh,
Wow.
Yep.
I'm going to...
Torrential Gearhulk.
With the confluence.
I think counter draw is what he's going to do.
Yeah.
So I'm going to...
Actually, he doesn't even need to counter. He can just
No.
block. Just draw 3.
Just draw 3 ones. Yep, just feels good.
Yep.
block this guy.
Yeah, this game is so over. So for game 2, I think Paul Mitchell probably brings in like Anger of the Gods. I assume that's in his sideboard. Let's look what Jackson's got in his board.
Just played a Sky Shroud Elite, which is not going to do much.
No, it's pretty bad against Paul.
Jackson
I hope that
probably Teague. Teague takes out a few of the bigger stuff.
Yeah, Mystic Confluence, Cryptic Command. It does enough, I'd say.
It's a good limiter. Early
Get a
choke.
marker and, put him on it.
Yeah, Choke is probably his best sideboard card, in fact.
Yeah, I think it would be.
Yeah.
Eidolon of the Great Revels might be very interesting.
Yep.
So
Solid
that is-
include.
Taking 2 damage from those 2-drop and 1-drop counterspells.
Yeah, I don't think he wants Sulfuric Vortex. I think Paul's got enough.
Paul's generally going to be able to get around that.
Yeah, he has enough pressure that he can race it back. He doesn't have to deal with it.
Probably the Wear Tear, so we can get rid of that problematic back to basics.
Possibly. There's not many targets really. It's like
I think the yellow
Gearhulk, Back to Basics. I suppose, yeah, Blood Moons, but you have to have the mana available that turn.
Well, I don't think Jackson cares about the Blood Moon because he plays a Magus of the Moon and Blood Moon in
Yeah.
his own sideboard.
Yeah. Vedalken Shackles.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, potentially Batterskull. Yeah, there might be enough threats that he wants to bring that in. But Jackson's probably happy that he's playing, the moon effects in his sideboard rather than main deck,
Yeah.
because you're going to verse a matchup like this, right? So I respect him for having those in the board rather than the main.
Yeah.
Burning Tree Shaman's a pretty close one. It's like not excellent because it's still be countered by a 2-cost counterspell, but it's going to get around a lot of the 3 damage burn spells that Paul's going to be representing.
I'm seeing Spirit of the Labyrinth as well in Jackson's sideboard. That feels like that could be a powerhouse in this matchup.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's not main deck, really.
Yeah, I'm very surprised with that. There's a lot of draw
Yeah.
power in Highlander.
Yeah, and it's not a nombo with your own Skull Clamp because you just clamp the spirit itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you can choose when you do that, which is amazing.
Get out my game, says Paul. Main deck. Oh, shit, I thought it was Relic Wood Progenitus, but it's
No,
not.
it's not
None
Relic.
Renegade, never mind.
Yeah.
I'll mention this.
Blocks the Gearhulk, pretty nice, but it's just gonna get dealt with.
Mom's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's like it's not the most beat down card really.
It's good to protect though, and it can get through that beat stick through a blocker.
Yeah, Paul not liking that because essentially it will block the Gear Hulk for days.
You noticed from the previous round, Brandon Owens was playing Mana Drain,
Yeah,
and he couldn't get that much value off the mana, but I think Paul's curve goes slightly higher. You can get a bit more, like you got the Gear Hulk as we can see, Mystic Confluence. I don't think Brandon played Mystic Confluence.
I didn't see
No.
his list.
Yeah,
He's got the Gear Hulk as well, which just feels good.
I believe Paul plays Glenalandra Archmage. Bit more card draw from Paul too.
Yeah, he's got Fact or Fiction. You could essentially use 2 mana to cycle Miscalculation as well. So he's got, and he's also playing Treasure Cruise as well.
And I'll Cryptic to counter.
So utilising that. Paul in his prime right now, controlling the game state with some very beautiful lands. I have to point that out.
Backspace almost always locks down its caster's own Volcanic Island. It's just
Yeah,
every time.
Yeah, you get to make choices.
totally worth it. Alright, what do we think Jackson should pick in this?
He could do
Fact or Fiction.
5 and 0. It's practically the same result as any other split.
Oh, 100%. So what is that? Electrolyze, Force of Will, Jace the Mind Sculptor,
Fire and Ice.
Fire and Ice,
It just doesn't matter what he does.
It really
He's so
doesn't.
dead.
Yeah.
and a land.
Do you guys know if you're allowed to? Can you not reveal to your opponent how you're arranging the cards and then reveal them both piles simultaneously, or do you have to have all the cards visible to your opponent at all times whilst you're resolving fact?
I'm absolutely not sure.
Because you don't want to reveal which cards you're considering, because you might reveal information about what answers you have in your hand for what you're giving them off the fact.
Yeah, it in the Oracle text it just says an opponent separates those cards into 2 piles, putting one pile to your hand and the other in your graveyard.
I'm going to take the Jason Fire.
It doesn't state anywhere that you can do, the opponent can do that secretly or with everyone in the knowledge. Very interesting way to play around fact or fiction, maybe.
Jackson's name is kind of reminds me of those cards that have like a really long name, like some legendary creature. Yeah, and their name goes all the way up to the mana cost. It's been a long day.
Back to basics. Yep.
Yeah, I'm disappointed that Back to Basics got a point. It's like, yeah, like obviously it looks insane here, right? But imagine if it was on the other side of the board, right? It's terrible against some decks, and
Yeah.
people can play around it. And I like incentivizing people playing basics.
Yeah, 100%. I like the format incentivizing people not to be greedy with their mana.
Yeah.
I'm a big advocate for back to basics, and I actually
You mean being not pointed?
yeah, being not pointed.
Yeah.
I think the card makes the meta extremely healthy, and people just have to play around it, so they can't do silly shenanigans. And the same goes for Blood Moon.
Yeah.
I agree that one probably should have been pointed, but maybe both should have been pointed. I don't know. Or neither. Or maybe they should have just pointed top.
Can't point top. It's in every deck.
Exactly.
It is not in every deck.
It is in my deck, and I had the luxury of multiple games, and against you, Luke, playing Counterbalance Sensei's Top.
Yeah, that was rough.
That felt extremely powerful in a singleton format. Extremely powerful. Interesting that he was fetching to get the Tiger there instead of
no basic red.
Perhaps he doesn't play a basic mountain.
yeah
I
because
assume that's the case.
because he obviously does play Blood Moon, so he doesn't really need to play around it.
Yeah. So what else has been going on in you guys' week?
Oh, look, he's still putting up a fight. I mean, it's not over, but you can't see him coming back.
No, it's just so over.
This is... Sorry about that, guys. We had a bit of a technical difficulty with our video.
Paul was winning too much.
Paul was winning too
The
much.
computer couldn't handle it.
Video couldn't handle it. So we're back to... Might be just before or just after where we left off just before. So we can see... It looks like a Magus of the Moon in Paul's hand, which is not really doing much right now. Jace the Mind Sculptor.
And
You
that
got
life
the-
total is not correct, by the way.
Yeah.
The game is nearly over.
Yes.
Don't get us wrong.
Yeah, the life total is 6 versus, I think it's 9.
9, yeah.
There we go, guys.
But Jackson's dead and has been for a long time. Come on.
Yeah, 100%. I can't think of what Jackson can draw here to get out of this situation. I actually just can't. Fiery Confluence. Another amazing commander card.
There we go.
yeah.
There's the scoop.
Alright. So
Now
going
the
to
sideboard.
sideboard, guys, what do we think they might do?
Well, we already covered
Oh, yeah.
most of it.
Most
A
of it,
long time
yeah.
ago.
Yeah. So yeah, Jackson probably goes into a Gadok Teague just to try and limit the stuff that he's seeing from his opponent.
Yeah.
Bigger counter spells that have the most effect, the Gear Hulk, and stuff like that.
Well, Gadok Teague doesn't stop Gear Hulk. It's a creature.
No, good point.
It'll
Yeah.
stop like any forecast instant
Yeah.
it tries to flash back there. So.
Yeah.
The choke would go in. Maybe even the Eidolon.
Yeah, Teague doesn't stop much. It stops the Force of Will. It stops the Mystic Confluence. It stops the Fiery Confluence. The Cryptic Command. Doesn't stop a lot, but it stops maybe enough.
Interesting. I think he just took out a Fleeceman line. That surprises me.
Yeah.
I'd expect like Jackson to take out most of his removal, especially the sorcery speed removal. It's nice to have some instant speed removal against like Vendui and Cleek and Snapcaster Mage that they can flash in. But it's pretty rare that Snapcaster's Mage is going to trade with you guys. I kind of feel like he should take out Jide, because he might get out tempoed by all Paul's burn.
Yeah.
And bounce. But you do want to keep a critical amount of equipment in your deck so that your Stoneforge Mystic isn't dead when you draw it.
Do you think Paul might take out the Blood Moon that's in his main deck?
I think he'll take out the Magus.
Yep.
If that is, does he play Magus? He does.
Yeah, he
right?
does.
Yeah.
He does play
He'll
Magus.
take out Magus because he can get burnt.
Yep.
But I think Blood Moon will stay.
Yeah.
If you have a successful run with a back to basics,
So he might like to keep
Oh.
it in.
yeah, because I suppose even then, to keep them all on red,
Oh, but actually, no, that could
can
be
actually
cool.
still play through with enough red spells.
Paul could sideboard out Back to Basics because Back to Basics has essentially done exactly what he wants him to do. Force Jackson now to be very conscious of how he's fetching and fetch around Back to Basics, which is exactly what the card is designed for.
I still expect Jackson to search for a lot of dual lands.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because he needs to turn on his wild Nactals and Kurt Apes, etc.
Yeah, he really does.
Yeah, he only really runs two basics anyway.
Yeah, he's got his plains and his forest, and
Plains
that's
and
it.
Forest, and that's it. That's the only. So he won't be thinking too much about it. He still wants to get the aggro attack first, so he'll still be going for the maximum land he can get to play the maximum amount of spells as early as possible before something lands.
I don't know if we mentioned this, but Jackson probably should board out Price of Progress. That seems like a dead card in this matchup.
Yeah,
Just
surely
a little
it's
bit,
gone.
yeah.
It must be gone, yeah.
And it only hurt himself.
And maybe the Curse Scroll, because that's a really interesting card to play in.
Curse Scroll stays.
Yeah, you reckon?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just feels too good, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, diversity of threats. That's what you're after. Goblin Guide,
Goblin
ideal.
Guide.
Good
Mental
start.
Misstep? Yeah, there
There
we
we go.
Yeah, that Goblin Guard was going to both hurt and help Paul, I reckon. But it would give Jackson too much knowledge of what's in Paul's hand.
That's a Shackles from
Oh.
Paul. That's his game plan. Live and then Shackles, then win.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid game plan.
Yeah. Hopefully for Jackson's sake, he's boarded in that wear tear that we were talking about.
Yeah.
And the Destructive Revelry as well. Island, great threat to stick. That's going to deal a lot of damage.
Yeah, it's going to put a big clock on.
I think Paul was going for the body language of the miss trigger,
Yeah.
but didn't get there. Jackson's drawn a lightning helix. I think it's worth finishing off the thing after you've attacked. Stranger Geist also good.
Yeah.
Pointing out the trigger.
Paul now pointing out the detrimental trigger for himself.
Alright. I think Paul really needs a burn spell for that Eidolon. It's going to deal him too much damage otherwise.
Yeah. It's going to do a lot of damage. And it's going to make Jackson feel pretty comfortable about playing out his threats around the counter spells because they're essentially just going to deal damage to Paul. Lightning Helix in hand. Bloodstained Mile.
I think I would run out the Abbot pre first main if I was Jackson in this scenario.
Yeah. So, lose 2. See if this resolves.
It's an interesting scenario.
Yeah.
Let it resolve or not.
I think you counter it.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that play. I think you counter it. You take the 2 damage because you want your thing in the ice to A, tick down, and B, flip.
Can't tell what Paul's third card is. Is it Smuggler's Copter?
I'm not sure.
I know it's Land, Abbot, something else. Yeah, pretty sure it's Copter. It's a nice one. Actually, it's actually not that good against control because you want to run out the creature to crew pre-main, and then you can be vulnerable against counter spells because you won't get to attack with the Smuggler's Copter unless you tap one of your existing creatures, and then you're missing out on damage. So, but it is a diverse threat that doesn't die to a sweeper, so it's probably still worth keeping in.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, you were correct there. It is the Sculptor.
Alright, I'll take back my comment about playing the Abbot pre-main. I didn't realise he had the second card to play out. I was worried that he had just 2 lands left and it would have been a mana inefficient to just play Helix.
Yeah.
So...
I think we have a life total discrepancy here. I've got them both on 11 each, but I had them on 9. But I might have accidentally clicked too much.
Paul's struggling here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's behind the 8 ball.
That Eidolon is doing exactly what it's supposed to do in this matchup.
Although with Paul now with the double red, got some opportunity to come in with some more burn.
Fire Confluence, that could get him back in the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
There we go.
does it.
Doesn't even trigger the Eidolon.
So destroying target artifact and the creatures as well. That's amazing.
And ticks down the thing in the ice.
Just looks too perfect, that card, doesn't
It
it?
just brings the game right back out around
That was
again.
gross.
Do we know
So-
who...
He wants to hit a choke off this Abbot. That's what he really wants.
Yeah.
Choke. No.
Sure.
So, yeah.
I wonder if you can dash it off the
Ooh,
Abbot.
Maybe. That could be cool. It's good to see players playing with altered cards, that Fiery Confluence in the bin. I've got a soft spot for altered cards.
I've yet to cast Fire Confluence.
Oh,
But-
really?
Yeah, I understand how stupid it is.
It's bonkers. I went out of Fire Confluence this weekend to Matthew Larkham. He wasn't going to play it because he didn't own one. I was like, no, this card's stupid. Here you go.
That was one thing I did really enjoy watching in just about every Eternal Day, the Vintage, the Legacy and the Highlander. Everyone got there early and
Yeah.
they were moving cards around between each other to make sure everyone was playing with as much cards as they needed.
And the optimal cards. It's so great to see how the community flourishes and helps each other.
Well, Jackson 1 card in hand. Paul's looking pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game really swung around from the Confluence. It's not over though.
No, it's still anybody's game right now. No one's locked out of the game. No one's got the inevitable win in play.
I take it back. Paul wins.
Oh, yeah, that Treasure Cruise is pretty good. Being able to draw 3 cards, then bounce your opponent's creatures, that's pretty powerful.
Paul taps out. It could still be Abbott into choke, but other than that, I can't see Jackson winning now. He doesn't tap out, so yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Man, Jackson got really low on life total from that, Eidolon.
Yeah, from his own Eidolon. Wow. That's a 7/9, that creature, isn't it?
710.
7/10.
It's massive.
Jeez.
Could be a 7-8.
Rancor.
I'm not sure.
Rancor.
I don't know.
Reveals Rancor.
Out with a Rancor.
Wow, alright, this is an interesting play. Does he play the Rancor? This is hard. He has until the end of turn to play the Rancor as well, though. So he doesn't have to play it right now.
Well, if he casts it, that's 5 damage, and I think he's got a. That looks like a Rift Bolt. That's not going to get them. I'm surprised that's not in his deck, unless it's Lightning Bolt.
It might be Lightning Bolt. I think he's playing a foreign lightning foil Lightning Bolt.
Yeah.
It might be Chain Lightning.
He's got to go for it. He has to go for the win and just hope Paul hasn't got anything.
Yeah.
He can't afford to chump block that thing every turn, so.
Oh. Throwing at the chump blocker.
Well, Zergo can't block big guys. He can only block 1 power dudes.
Yeah, it just does nothing. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's... So how big's that Abbott now?
Yeah.
Rift Bolt.
It is Rift Bolt.
Yeah.
I think that should have came out. Should have been sideboarded out.
And he lets him keep him because he knows he's not worried.
Paul must have the burn spell to finish him off. Otherwise, he would have kept the cleek back.
Just forcing down to 1.
Maybe not. I guess the Rancor provides trample anyway, so cleek's not that useful as a blocker.
You might also just have the counter spell for whatever burn or threat Jackson can throw down. Just put him on up. Jackson has to win this turn or he's dead essentially. Scavengers.
Paul doesn't care.
Yeah.
Irrelevant.
How much life can Jackson try and gain now?
Jackson's just dead.
6 max if he... Oh, not even that, no.
That's 3?
He's only got 2 green sources open, a Stomping Ground and Taiga.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
He still dies to the cleek even if he chumps the thing. But it's just... Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry Jackson, it's just unfortunate. And that Snapcaster, it doesn't need to really target anything.
Yeah, Jackson was the sole Adelaide player in the top 8. But I'm glad that they got one guy in the top 8.
Yeah, it's great to see that.
Yeah.
Also want to say that the Canberra guys got 2 of their Canberra team in top 8.
Yeah, Chris Turner and
Brendan Owen.
Brandon Owen, yeah.
Unfortunately, they had to verse each other in the semis.
Oh, really?
Or in the quarters.
Props to Brandon Owen for writing out all the lists from the day as well. And putting them
mad
online.
props. He very, very impressed with how he went.
Not only lists, but writing it all the full write-up and breaking everything down.
Yeah. So, great job to Paul going into the semis now. We can say Brendan won. No. Who won out of the Canberra guys? It was
Chris.
Chris. Yeah, Chris beat Braden in the quarters. But yeah, see you in the semis. So stay tuned.